Hey there, Improv Tipsters, and welcome back to Improv Tips, where I and some of the best improvisers in the world give you improv tips and advice to make you a better, more confident, and happier improviser wherever you are in your improv journey. I am, as always, your host, Paul Valancourt. Let's begin. Today's guest tipper is Anthony Francis. I've known Anthony for a little while now. I was a guest on an interview show he was doing. I had a great chat with him and my co-guest, the Black Improv Alliance. It was a really fun time. He also did a really great review of my book, The Triangle of the Scene. Link for that down below, a few years ago, and I really appreciated that. Nowadays, in addition to sharing improv with business professionals as a communication coach, he's also a producer of the Palm Beach Improv Festival and the co-producer of the Countdown Improv Festival in Tampa. In short, he is doing all the improv things. But before we get down to his tip, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel by hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notified about improv tips as soon as they come out. And also leave us a comment down below. Just reach out and say hi. I'd appreciate it. Today, Anthony's talking about listening, one of the most foundational skills of improv. I've also made this ding ding playlist so that you can hear some other improv tips about listening. But Anthony's is really interesting, and it's based on a book that really has nothing to do with improv. He brings a lot of really cool, interesting insight to it. But you don't want to hear it from me. You want to listen, see what I did there, to him. So without any further ado, please sit back, relax, and enjoy Anthony Francis.
And thank you for having me here. My tip today is an exercise I like to do with my students. It's called Jackal Ears. And I got the idea for this exercise. I was reading a book called Nonviolent Communication by Dr. Marshall Rosenberg. And all this book is about, really, the name sounds bigger than what it is. It's not about de-escalating violent situations. It's about having conversations with people that might be difficult and how to have those difficult conversations in a positive way. Really great book. Well, anyway, I'm reading the book, and in it, Dr. Rosenberg talks about jackal ears. And what jackal ears are is when someone makes a statement of fact, an observable behavior that they saw, and then they bring that observable behavior to the other person, and then that person doesn't hear the facts. They read between the lines, they listen with their jackal ears, and they think something else. So, for example, a husband comes home at midnight after he said he'd come home at 6 p.m. and now he's not home till midnight. Well, when he comes in the door, his wife says a statement of fact. You said you'd be home at 6 and now it's midnight. Well, he didn't hear that statement of fact. He heard with his jackal ears. He heard, I can't trust you and I'm really mad at you and it's your fault, right? So he responds to those things that he heard, not what was factually heard. He says things like, what? Will you call me a liar? What? You think I want to be out this late? What's wrong with you, right? But none of those things might be true. She might just be upset. So he's listening with his jackal ears. These are the communication problems that we have in our everyday lives. Well, let's get to the improv game, because I thought, how can I turn this into a game where, one, we can see some really cool improv muscles getting worked, but also this can help us a lot with our communication. How many times do we listen with our jackal ears? But we want to listen with our jackal ears in improv. Maybe sometimes, maybe all the time. I don't know, it's up to you. But here's a fun game to work that muscle. So here's how we do it. We take this concept and we turn it into challenges for our improvisers. So improviser A can only make statements of fact, only observable facts. Improviser B can only listen with their jackal ears and respond to what they think the other person means by what they say. Here's an example. And they don't always have to be negative. In fact, I'm not going to give you a negative example. I'm going to give you a positive example. We have improviser A and improviser B. They are on a boat, on a big cruise ship. And we're going to see how that scene unfolds. Improviser A says something like, the boat is very rocky today. And this improviser can't show emotion either. They're just very statement of fact, almost like a robot. And they're saying, the boat is very rocky today. Improviser B is going to listen with their jackal ears. They might say something like this. Oh my God, are you okay? Do you want to get off the boat? You want to get off the boat? Let's get off the boat. I can get us a life raft. So they were listening with their jackal ears. All they were saying is the boat is rocky, but then they're coming at it with a whole bunch of emotion, a whole bunch of information just cranked up to 11, right? Things that weren't said, but they're inferring them. Well, this is great for improvisers because we need to gift our partners as much as we possibly can. And this is a great way to gift them. But it also shows us how to listen better. We can recognize when our jackal ears are turned on, especially when we practice actively turning on our jackal ears, something we can do in improv that really you can't do in a lot of other places. So we get to practice that way. But we also get to, in our real lives, be like, oh, wait a minute, was I listening with my jackal ears? What did they actually say? So that's another side point for your personal lives. But when it comes to improv, we get to see these relationships. And this game is so much fun. My students play it all the time. They love it. You get to see some really fun characters rubbing up against each other. You get to see this very analytical character and this very emotionally driven, jumping to conclusions character. Maybe they're a little neurotic in a way, but that's what makes it really fun. So I hope this exercise helps you. I hope you get a chance to do it. And if you get a chance, check out Nonviolent Communication. I think it's a great book. Anyway, Paul, thanks so much for having me, and break legs out there.
Hey friends, thanks for checking out the video, and if you want to hear a little bit more, check out one of these 2 quality videos. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe and follow us on social media. All the links are in the description down below, and let me know what you would like to see an improv tip about. Thanks for watching.